Hello, everybody. I'm Andrew Sullivan, also known as Six String Andrew, and welcome to the High Note Podcast.
Hey, I'm Jesse Hill.
And I'm Hank Berman.
And welcome to the High Note Podcast. We have Six String Andrew. How you doing, Andrew?
I'm doing good.
Now, do you go by Andrew? Do you go by Drew? Do you go by...
They call me Six String Andrew a lot when they're booking gigs, but
You got to come up with that cool, what do you call it? It's not like different, what I'm trying to think of.
I got
Stage
one.
name.
I got a nickname. They call me Out of Tune Hank. So I don't know why they call me that. I guess I should buy a tuner.
There you go. So I want to know, one, have you ever been on a podcast?
No, I've done some interviews before, but not like podcast specific.
Cool.
But, I've been in a similar environment.
I hear you. Yeah, well, this environment right now is a construction zone, so if you hear anything in the background, that sounds like a construction zone. They're changing the floor at the Mary C. So just letting all the guests know that, and we're doing our best to block it out. So Hank called me, said, hey, I got this guy, and it's really funny he said this. I don't watch the news. I don't. We stream things, but there was one day, it was just on, and I saw you on there.
It was destiny.
It was. I was watching, and I was like, who is this cat? Because I think it was Chet Landry and that other girl, and they were like dancing to it, and I saw this guy, and I was like, he's this young cat with the guitar, and he's playing some blues. And then a couple days later, Hank says, hey, man, I found this kid. Really good. We're going to have him on the podcast. And he told me Six String Andrew, and it was very easy for me to remember. I'm bad with names, and I remember your name because I thought, Six String Andrew, that's impressive that, he's already got a stage name and everything picked out. Do you mind me asking how old you are?
I am 17.
What?
And I've been playing for almost 11 years.
Wow, what got you into music?
I've always been interested in music from a young age, and I would just always ask my parents oh, I want to get a guitar, and so they would get me toy guitars when I was 3, and then I got a real one when I was 6, and my dad signed me up for guitar lessons, and then I just started learning.
Did you enjoy taking lessons?
Yeah, I did. At first, I was like, oh man, my fingers really hurt because I was 6 years old and I had this big acoustic guitar,
right.
And it was super tough. But then once I got over it, everything else came pretty easy.
Once you got the calluses and knew what you were doing.
Yeah, so then once I got an electric, it was
Well, see, I think that's a great thing that your dad did in starting you with an acoustic guitar, because a lot of people, they want to run before they can walk, and so to speak. And to me, I did the same thing with my parents, and not at that young an age, but it was learning your chords, learning to play an acoustic guitar, learning your rhythm, your cadence with it all. To me, this is my own opinion. Then you can start thinking about the laying down the foundation, then think about starting to play lead over it, or
yeah.
So, but people immediately want to become the gunslinger and the rock star and burning it up, but it's got to slow down first. So I'm glad you did that. I think that's great.
Yeah.
So hold on, back up. Do you play music? Does your dad play music?
No,
Really?
He doesn't. But he likes a lot of music. He owned a record shop, so we have so many records in the house. So music was something, and I had an MP3 player when I was a little kid, so I was always just listening to music, and then that made me want to start making my own stuff from a very young.
Does anybody else in the family play guitar or play music? So
No.
You're the only one. I mean, you're the one. You're the forerunner. You're the one who took it up.
Yeah, that's me.
Wow.
What school are you at right now?
I'm at Van Cleve High School. It's my
The
senior
Bulldogs. I'm a Yellow Jacket class of 2009, but I respect my Bulldogs.
year. Got the oppositions on here.
So, have you done talent shows or anything like that, or is it just okay? You have?
Yeah, I've got to play in front of the class a few times for
How was
the
that?
whole class. Good, and I always get voted most talented for stuff.
Great.
There you go. Hey, I mean they have good taste.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So,
I'm just kidding.
Where did the nickname come from?
Yeah.
So that was my email address when I was 5 years old.
You had an email account when you were 5?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Thank you to my parents for giving me unlimited internet access.
That's great. Uh-oh. Watch out, Dad.
But yeah, it was like an email, and then when I would start emailing people looking into gigs when I got older, that was just the name. They're like, "Oh, Six String Andrew," because it was my email address, and then that's just kind of how it started.
Okay, it's catchy because I'm very bad with names. I'll have people come up to my gigs, and I should know them.
5-year-old me was a genius.
There you go. And so I'm sitting there, and people will tell me their names over and over again. It'll be 12 times. I still can't remember, but I can remember Six String Andrew. So it is a good stage name. I can tell you that right now. What are your influences?
I'm influenced by a lot of music. Blues was really my foundation. My dad took me up to Clarksdale when I was 5, and I got to I was just trying to play harmonica at the time because I didn't have a guitar yet. And I've just been going up there every single year since I was 5, and I've met some really good friends up there, such as Big A, Heather Cross, Lee Williams, and when I go up there, I'm always asked to play. And now it's like a yearly thing that they want me to play at different venues up there. So
that's
blues was like the foundation of it. I'm also inspired by a lot of other types of music. I like rock music as well, pop, like any genre inspires me, but blues was my foundation.
What do you listen to when you're not playing or you're not in school? What do you enjoy on your system or whatever that you like? Any particular artists or style, or does it depend on your mood?
I like a lot of different artists. One of my favorite bands of all time is actually Radiohead.
Yeah, great band.
Yeah. So I like that type of music as well. And then when it comes to blues, I really like Eric Gales.
Yeah.
He's a great guitar player. Mm-hmm. And going back even further, Leadbelly is probably like my favorite songwriter ever.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, do you listen, or have you listened to a lot of those artists from that era, say the 20s, 30s, 40s?
Yeah, I'm also a big Robert Johnson fan and Son House, etc. Robert Lockwood Jr.
Willie Dixon. You ever listen to Willie Dixon?
He wrote all the.
He wrote them all. Yeah. That's right. A lot of people don't know that. I mean, they think, oh, Howlin' Wolf did this and that, but Willie Dixon was the one guy behind it all. And of course, he got screwed with the money and all that stuff, but still, he was very prolific. That's good. That's great. Tommy York is a great artist too.
Oh yeah, I like his solo music as well. Yeah. And then I even listen to some rap. I literally listen to everything.
That's good. It's good to encompass it all and then put it into your style.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, do you write, or have you recorded, or do you have plans to record?
Yeah, I am writing right now. I have some more indie type music just because it's pretty easy for me to do on my laptop that I have on Spotify under Andrew Sullivan. But last week I was on WLOX and I did an interview and I played an original blues song called "What You Want." And yeah.
Wait, so that was your original song?
That was one I wrote.
Ooh, that was good. I saw it. I mean, I guess I saw it live because it was
live. It's on Chet Landry's Facebook if you want to view it back. But it was an original song that I did, and it's one that I really like to play. It's called "What You Want."
Awesome. Is it on Spotify?
That one's not on there yet. I'm waiting until I can get more resources to get an actual drummer and stuff to record that one.
Gotcha.
Well, we're actually very fortunate in that Andrew brought his amp and his guitar, and he's going to do something for us. So.
That's right. We're going to record. It's going to be interesting, but it's fun. Have you ever heard of Universal Audio?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to be plugging right into it. It's going to be fun.
All right.
So we talked about your influences. What do you see yourself doing? Okay, you're 17. Mm-hmm. You're at that age. Dad knows, there's a lot of changes about to happen because you're going to graduate high school. Are you planning to go to college? Are you wanting to gig? Or you wanting to gig while you're in college? I gigged while I was in college. It helped pay actually my way through college. Is that something you've even thought about, or is it something that, what I'm asking is, where's your future? Where do you see it heading?
Absolutely. Like what you were saying about gigging while being in college. I want to attend Belmont in Nashville. They have a really great music program, and also it's in Nashville. So I'm hoping that I can gig while being in college, and I want to go to college and major in music as well. So that's really the plan for the rest of my life, just guitar stuff.
When you say major in music, any particular part of music that you want? Are you thinking of, what performing arts or teaching, or what major in music? How?
Well, the way that the college has it set up is called commercial music, and you learn everything from jazz to other types of music, and you just kind of get a pretty well-rounded view of it. I looked a lot into the program, but I'm gonna also do a minor in production as well, so I can try to find a job in music. I would love to be like a session worker or be a performing artist.
Right,
Whatever I can be used for.
So theory and composition, that type thing. I mean,
Yeah.
it's all about like something like Juilliard or what Berkeley School of Music in Boston does. That type of education, musical education.
Yeah, I've also looked into Berkeley too. I'll be auditioning for that college as well.
Great.
Yeah.
So let's talk about college in Belmont. So have you been accepted?
Yeah, I've been accepted into Belmont as the school, and then I had to go up and audition, and then I got accepted into the commercial music major. So, yeah.
Tell me about that process.
So the process for that was I had to learn a piece of my own that I had to perform for them, which I did Solo Flight by Charlie Christian, and they were like super impressed by that because he's a very good guitar player. And then the other song was one I had to choose off their website, which I did Autumn Leaves. And then I had to do a sight reading portion, and then I had to do a chord thing where I had to play chords for them, and then they just asked me some questions, and then I got a message a few weeks later saying that I got accepted in the mail.
That's great. So you can read music.
Yeah.
And did that come from your guitar lessons, or did something after that, your musical education did it? How did you learn to sight read or read?
I actually only started reading like a few years ago. Like, I've been playing for almost 11 years, but then I finally saw the importance of reading once I got into high school, and I was like, all right, I have a really good ear. Like, I can hear something and play it, but in a lot of professional environments, you kind of need to know how to play reading sheet music. So that was something I started practicing only a few years ago, maybe like 2.
So when you write, do you also write out your music?
No.
Okay, so
when it's my own music,
you're capable of writing if you wanted to, but it's not necessary when you're composing.
Yeah, when I'm writing music, I just like to play chords and feel it out and then improvise it. That's more what I like to do. But I understand the importance of knowing how to read, especially when I had to start practicing for college. So it kind of inspired me to learn how to read music. Just
I think it's great.
To go to college.
Yes, if I could go back, like I always tell people, I would not play football and I would join band and learn how to read music, and my knees would still be good. So it's actually really important to learn to read music.
I think so too.
I just wish I knew how.
A lot of folks I know that do read cannot improvise. And it's a good mesh of the two that you have going on and others that
like you learn to improvise before you learn how to read versus reading and then improvising.
And you can, I think that's a really good thing.
How did you find, like, did you see Andrew on the news? Where did you see him at?
Well, my wife saw you on the news, but I had met Andrew and his parents, or your parents, while you were performing at Fishbone Alley in Gulfport.
You're not going to hurt our feelings. You're young. I want to know, have you ever heard of Hank Berman or Jesse Hill?
I have heard of them because we have played on the Gulfport. It's the Fishbone Alley thing. I don't know if they do it much anymore.
I don't think they're doing it. And in fact, today Lori Toops is retiring, so they're doing a thing for her.
So I do the website for downtowngulfport.com.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we're actually revamping a whole bunch of stuff for them.
So this is all connected.
Yep, I love Lori.
Yeah, so she would always hire me for Fishbone Alley when they used to do that, and I would see him playing in the alley, and he's talked to my parents before.
Right.
But yeah, they used to have stuff going on there all the time.
I thought that was a really cool gig.
It was nice art and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, to take an alley, literally an alley that in urban renewal and all, and fix it up and put art like you're talking about on the thing and making it nice.
They're doing the same thing right here in Ocean Springs. I don't know if you go down Government Street, but you see these two big, like, I call them Target balls. Like when you walk up to Target, there's these big balls that like keep you from going down a road. And they're turning that into like an artsy, where you can't drive down. It's just for people.
Oh, okay.
So that'll be another, I don't know, that may be another outlet.
Maybe.
What city are you mainly playing in right now, gigging wise?
Biloxi.
Is that where you're from? Where do you live at?
So I live in Van Cleve.
Okay.
Like pretty rural in Van Cleve, but Biloxi just hires a lot. Right now I have a Margaritaville gig lined up for February 25th. It's a solo one from 7 to 10. And I also have one at Chandelier Brewing Company solo from 3 to 6 on March 11th.
Who hires for lodging for Margaritaville? Is it Jay Jordan?
Yeah, Jay Jordan.
He hires me for Hotel Legends, so yeah.
Yeah, and
they actually own, so Margaritaville, Hotel Legends, Centennial Plaza, and White House Hotel, that's all the same owner.
Yeah, and me and my band get hired a lot to play at the Ground Zero in Biloxi. We had there's some pictures in this newspaper article.
Oh yeah.
But,
we'll make sure we post this when we post our this thing right here. Man, this looks great.
Yeah, and so that was some place that me and my band played a lot last year was in Biloxi. So that's a very prominent spot.
Great. Tell us about your band.
So my band, I've known them since first grade, and then when we got to high school, we all ended up being musicians, and it all just kind of worked out. We were like, hey, we should get a little band together. We started sending videos out to Ground Zero and to Margaritaville and other places, and they just really liked it, so they started hiring us up.
How many pieces is it?
4 twin brothers on bass and on keys, Caden and Jaden Bilbo, and then my friend Brody Hyde plays drums, and then I play guitar and sing.
Great.
How many guitars you got?
At least 7.
Spoken like a true musician. How many guitars do you have?
Yeah, let's see if this guy's the real deal.
Is that a Jazz Master?
That is a Jazz Master.
Wow.
That's the one I've been playing the most recently. It's a beaut.
With the P90s? Is that P90s that I see on it? What kind of pickups is that?
Oh, yeah.
I think they're P90s. They look like P90s.
Now, are your parents proud?
Yes.
Your mom?
Yeah, she is.
It's really cool to like actually do something that's, I mean, my dad did it, so I was surrounded by it. But to actually pick it up kind of on your own, and you were kind of like the only one around you, and you were like, I'm interested in this and seeing you go for it, man. I'm impressed. Seriously.
Thank you.
Seriously. And I really hope Belmont, as you say it, Belmont?
Yeah.
Belmont is good to you, and I hope, man, you're successful in there because you can do some great things, man.
Well, I'm sure that there's also connections that you can through the school.
Oh yeah, that's
which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, a lot of people that go there always like end up getting a job in music or just making really good connections in downtown Nashville.
Yeah,
right.
Dad, don't get mad at me for saying this, but sometimes it's not the grades you make. It's important, but it's not the grades you make. Sometimes it's the hands you shake. So
true.
Remember that. Like
that's true.
But then again, make the good grades. Go to class.
So is that being a tech head? Is that your main guitar, the Jazz Master? Yeah.
There's in the other one. That's a B&G. That's the other one that I use a lot. Those are the two that I've been mainly using. It's really nice. It's got like, I don't know. It's a handmade guitar from Israel. It's a brand called B&G, and
wow,
their guitars just sound great.
How did you find out about that?
Bob Margolin, he is the guitar player from the Muddy Waters band, and he's somebody that I've played with a lot.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Me and him have been playing together for a long time, just from
great.
knowing him from going to Clarksdale, Mississippi.
Right.
And he put me on to B&G, and I just really liked the way his sounded, and I was like, I need a B&G. So, yeah.
He played with Muddy Waters for a long time. I remember videos of him. I think they even did it at the band, The Last Waltz.
Yes, they did.
So, yeah, I remember doing Manish Man or whatever. Yeah. Awesome. That's great. So do you like the single coils, or do you prefer humbuckers, or does it matter?
I like using the bridge pickup more when I'm soloing, but I usually put it in the middle if I'm doing rhythm or comping along to something.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah,
I'm always messing with something, messing with a knob.
Right. Now your stage setup. Sorry, Jesse. This is what I'd like to find out about as well.
No, I'm
personally.
done. I'm actually reading.
What do you use? Pedals? Do you have effects? I mean, what kind of amps do you use? Because there's people out there that probably want to hear this. I think they do.
Okay, so it depends on the environment. Cause like a lot of times if I'm playing in like an old blues club or something, all I need is a guitar and an amp. But when I'm playing my gigs at Margaritaville or at Ground Zero, and we do like a wide array of genres, because we'll do blues and we'll do a rock song, and then we'll do like an R&B or like a funk song or something. So it's all over the place. But my pedal board, I have my tuner, I have a wah, I have a tube screamer, and then I have a whammy pedal. Those are fun.
Do you like the whammy pedal?
Oh, I love
the
the
Digitech whammy pedals. Yeah, really.
Those are great. And then I also have a Boss distortion as well, and the Blue Hippo chorus pedal.
Yeah,
which it's really great for playing comping along to something. And my amp is a Hot Rod DeVille.
Yeah,
that's the one that I mainly use a lot. I don't know. It has a really nice versatile sound to it.
What's the wattage on that?
It's 4x10. I'm not sure what the wattage is though.
Probably 30, 40, probably.
Probably.
I see. I was into guitar when I was at 12 years old, and who was it? Joe Walsh. So it was Eagles. They came in town, and I saw Joe Walsh. My dad he was a guitar player, and he was always like wanting me to get involved with guitar. So I watched Joe Walsh. I fell in love with it, and I was like, man, I gotta do it. So I disappeared for a whole year. Like I was just in my guitar, and I learned it. And then I learned some cool songs, learned some things, picked up some tricks, and then I got into singing. And then I missed all the pedals and that stage.
Pedals are fun.
Because that's the deep stuff, right? When you get into it, now you're customizing things. You can customize your pedal board, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Put all the cool stuff on it. So that's so cool to me.
Yep.
I bought a Gibson thinking, man, I'm going to be like cool with the Gibson, but I realized those son guns are so heavy.
Oh, you must have been like a Les Paul? Was that?
I think it was a Les Paul.
It had to have been Les Paul.
And I bought one, and then I was like, it's too heavy, so I sold it.
Years ago, I was playing in Louisville, and it was a big room, I guess, or a combination of rooms. Anyway, it was at this performing arts thing, and there was I was doing a duo, but there was a band on the other side, and we got to be good friends with the band. They were a show band. They did a lot of R&B stuff, but the guitar player played a Les Paul, and he had played one for years, and he loved it and refused not to give it up, but he had to have surgery on his shoulder because of the Les Paul.
Wow.
They were that heavy, like you're talking about. They were unbelievably heavy. So
those B&G guitars are kind of inspired by the old Gibsons, but it's not that heavy for me.
Oh, it does look kind of like a Gibson. I didn't even see
that.
Yeah.
Is it chambered or is it solid body?
It's got the chamber. It's a hollow body.
Yeah. Like a 335.
It's a pretty guitar. It really is.
Yeah, it's inspired by them. It's super nice. Not as heavy as the Les Paul.
No, hey, I'm not rocking Les Pauls. If you can pull it off, you can pull it off.
No.
My experience, it was too heavy for me.
Yeah, but that's part of the tonality of it too. Was the density of the wood. It's made it resonate.
Awkward question: are girls that are in school? That's a weird question because I mean I was his age singing.
Are you reliving your childhood?
Maybe that's what it is.
Your adolescence.
Do you see like your age group liking your type of music? I say girls because that's what guys think about when they're that age. But when I'm saying like your friends, your classmates,
are they into the blues?
Are they into the blues, or is it almost?
Them?
Or are you kind of reintroducing them to that?
I kind of feel like the Rolling Stones in the '60s. You know what I mean? It's like they don't know about Muddy Waters, but like I'm gonna show them that they like it. You know,
that's cool. That's great.
That's cool. I like that attitude. That attitude. I always doubted myself when I was young, but I mean, I was singing Sinatra and things like that was way before everybody's time.
Yeah.
But you reintroduce them to them, they're like, oh, I actually like this kind of music. So that's really, really cool to hear.
Yeah, I like that too.
Me and my band, we got to play in front of the whole school at a talent show, and we did "Before I Let Go" by Frankie Beverly and Maze.
Really?
And like everybody really liked it.
That's good.
That's good. Even if they didn't know the song, it's like now they know.
Right.
So you didn't know you liked it.
Some people respect, like, especially in Mississippi, because it's, the blues state. Like, people respect seeing that younger generation, reach out and sing or perform those type of songs that should be out of, way before your time. But you're reaching back in time to, like, bring it back, kind of reintroduce to a whole nother generation, which I think is very, very important.
You mentioned Mississippi as a blues state, yes, but the whole of Mississippi is different once you get past the coast, as you know, and a lot of people on the coast really didn't care about the blues musically when we think of different clubs and stuff.
You're talking about like Hattiesburg South?
Hattiesburg South, or even Wiggins or whatever. I mean, it's the blues wasn't as big of a deal to locals. It was more tourist people that would come in and ask, hey, where can we hear some blues? They think Mississippi, they think blues. Well, for the longest time, blues clubs couldn't make it down here. Somebody would try, I think we talked about this before, somebody would try to open up with the best intentions, like Ground Zero, what they're doing, although they've got it going on. I think their timing is really good in opening up and their history and who they are as well. But a lot of people would want to hear blues. Okay, there wasn't enough to support it. The club owner would end up going in a different direction because he had to make money, and still they wouldn't make it. So I'm glad that that's happening down here, and that it gives you an opportunity. Your timing as well is good, just coming along when you did. So that's really good.
Yeah, Ground Zero, I think when it comes to opening something like that up, it's all about location and timing.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was
and it has a great
important.
system. That sound system's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
And Mick,
Reed and Mick.
Yeah, they know what they're doing. I've known
do.
Mick a long time, and Hobbs and all that group. They're good. They're a good bunch of people. They're good. It's good. Yeah. But Reed and Mick, Mick's been doing it a long time. He was hopefully we can get him on the podcast too. I think he'd be good to get over here, with his days with Dr. John and the Neville brothers and all that. So.
I know a lot of these people.
It's because I'm old.
Oh, no, you're not old.
I'm old.
You'll understand when you're older.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you get to be my age,
Yeah, well, I'm really curious, and when you're my age, and he's
I'm curious to see where you're going to be at.
Yeah, and how the scene's going to be as well, and where you're going to be. I'm sure you'll go on to bigger and better things.
But let me ask you this: do you have any plans? I know this is probably way down the line, but you're going to Nashville for school. That's your plan.
Yeah.
Do you ever plan on coming back here, or do you want to is your ultimate goal L.A. or stay in Nashville or New York or?
I mean, I don't know where I'm gonna live yet. I might want to move to Nashville if I have some good opportunities for session work or gigging, but I'm not gonna abandon the coast. Because my parents live here, and there really is some great venues around here as well. And also, it's just Mississippi in general. You can't really replicate that culture. Now, even though Memphis wants to claim that they made the blues,
right?
No,
they didn't.
Right.
It's false.
Tutwiler, Mississippi. W.C. Handy was at a train station. I can't remember the artist, but somebody heard W.C. Handy play, and it. Have you ever been to Tutwiler?
I haven't been. I've kind of passed through it, but I do know the whole W.C. Handy
story,
right?
All that story, right?
Yeah,
right. And I can't think of who the artist was that heard him. Not Mississippi Fred McDowell. I can't remember who it was, but anyway, how that. The legend is that's how it began, or that's how it started.
And of course, all the inspiration from the Delta,
right?
Muddy Waters,
yeah.
Robert Johnson.
Yeah, people don't realize too. A lot of the Mississippi musicians they went to Chicago, and that became the Chicago sound and Chess Records and all that stuff. Leonard Chess, and his brother. Yeah.
I'm learning something. Every
right,
podcast we do, I just learn more and more. I feel like I've been sheltered.
Andrew's got it going on. He knows all about those stories, which I think is great. It
cool.
is great.
It is cool
that you do that.
Because you're respecting you're not singing the songs because you just like the sound of it. You respect the history. You respect the story of probably who wrote it or sang it.
I've probably looked at the Wikipedia page of every song I've ever sang.
Isn't that cool? And you learn about the history. Even Robert Johnson, that's a cool story.
I know.
That's one of the coolest stories in Mississippi.
The lack of documentation makes it a cool story.
That's right.
Doesn't it?
The marketing on him, whether back then and how he disappeared and came back, somehow.
Wherever that stirred, genius.
Mm-hmm.
Absolute genius.
Have you been up to Greenville? Is it Greenville or Greenwood, where he's allegedly buried? There's
the crossroads.
Well, there's three different.
I've been to two of the places.
Same here.
But apparently the crossroads that they have is not the actual crossroads he was singing about.
Right.
But I've been to the real crossroads where the train's at.
Yeah.
But
ooh, I need to go there. Bring the drone.
Yeah, there you go.
That would be fun.
Actually, Clarksdale is there's a lot of rundown buildings and stuff just because financial situations aren't the best there, but the amount of culture and stuff, I think you could get some cool shots.
That's what I hear about Vicksburg right now.
Vicksburg's awesome. I used to live in Clinton and played in Vicksburg a bunch.
Well, what I'm saying
that was cool, that downtown area.
But what I'm saying is from what I hear, they're getting a lot of people are pulling out. I don't know what it is, but Vicksburg. My brother-in-law lives there, and he's telling me it's just gotten bad.
No.
Yeah, I know. From what I hear,
right.
I don't know if that's true.
Well, he would know.
I'll look it up, and if it's true, I'll keep it in. If it's not, I'll cut it out.
Shout out Vicksburg.
Yeah, a lot of history in Vicksburg too. That whole thing, and I just forgot where Muddy Waters is. Rolling Fork, Mississippi, which is right outside up 61 from Vicksburg.
Oh, I know. I was going to ask you. Are you an Elvis fan?
I do like a lot of Elvis's music. I think he's a very influential artist, and he made a lot of good stuff.
Have you ever been to Graceland?
I haven't been.
Me neither. I'm a huge Elvis fan, but I've never been. I need to take my dad. My dad's been.
Now, I know it's not accurate, but the Elvis movie was pretty good.
No, it was good. I think they did a good job to introduce him to a different generation or whatever. Did you watch it?
No.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of like, yeah.
I'm the only person on the coast, I think, who hasn't seen the Elvis movie.
Why won't you watch it?
It's not that I don't want to. I just haven't, I guess, for whatever reason. I don't watch much of anything anymore.
It's a cool movie, man. It's
Yeah. I mean, everybody that I've talked to really enjoyed it, said the guy did a really good job of it.
Austin Butler, yeah.
I mean, yeah, even like kind of like we were talking about earlier, like introducing music that people might like but they don't know. Like there's so many people my age that are Elvis fans now because of that.
Is that right?
Yeah, like a lot.
Oh, that's great. Well, there you go. And then you're doing your share as well as to educate them in different genres, like the blues and stuff.
That's got to come back. And when I say not just Elvis, but I'm talking about the blues, kids, young adults who like instruments. Recording has gotten so digital lately, and beats and DJs, and I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm just
love me a good MIDI controller.
But what I'm saying is like actually getting down to the point where bringing your instrument, bringing your natural vocals, and not making it so robotic. I think it's got to come back. I feel like people are yearning for that sound again.
Well, yeah, you don't even have to be a musician to make music or put music together.
There's
with sampling and loops, like loops. You got to hear, oh, I like that. That goes together good, or whatever. I mean,
I've heard some pretty creative sampling, but like there's actually some websites nowadays that you can like randomly generate beats.
Yeah,
like that's crazy.
It is crazy.
It's getting even like I don't know. It's getting a little too far.
I think so too. I think so. There's nothing like music in your hands and your heart and your soul. I mean, that I don't think that'll ever go out. But there's a very homogenized type of music out there right now that it almost you don't know when one ends and the other begins. And if it's techno or if it's a B&D stuff or club stuff, I get that because you want to maintain that energy in a club, but at the same time to sit there and compose, you want to write something that means something to you, or play something that means something to you.
That's right playing, because like an instrument you can actually express yourself.
Yes.
Where if you use, because like I'm not hating on sampling, like even with a lot of the rap I like, they will use it in a way that's like creative or like changes the time signature or something.
Right.
But just like generating like a random loop and then putting it down, there's no like emotion in that.
Right.
I'll tell you this, when it comes to rap music, I'm very impressed with the producers, mainly because when you do listen to rap music and hear those beats, that's complex stuff. It's not easy. It's not easy to make things, and like especially those low notes, hit the way that they're. I mean, when you listen to a rap song, it sounds different. It sounds more modern because it is
like Metro Boomin.
Yeah, it's just like it's like you get that good feel sometimes from that beat. So I'm very like impressed by the production of it. But I feel like instrumentation, if that's the right word, instrumentation is very important.
Well, with all genres of music, good is good. There's always good,
right.
And there's always not so good. So the way it is. So when you write, do you just kind of free flow, just whatever comes to mind, or do you go in with a certain subject in mind, or style, or even tempo? Okay, I have this thought about clouds. Well, that would be a good ballad, or that would be a good rock and roll or upbeat song. Do you do any of that, or is it just flow out of you?
I always start with guitar. So if I'm like, I don't know, usually I'll be like practicing, and then like I come up with a chord progression, and then lyrics come after the music. I don't know. The music inspires me more than the words inspire the music, which I know like for some people it's opposite, but everyone has a different process.
That's great that everyone does. It's whatever works for you.
Yeah.
I think that's cool. I can see what you're saying, and I would think that would be the for me anyway, the way to go, what I've done before in my past. So yeah, that's cool. That's good. Yeah. What do you think, Jesse?
I think Six String Andrew has a very bright future ahead of him, and I'm like I said, I'm excited to see where you go with it. And I'm glad there's like I'll tell you this. It's nice to see, and I've been told this before many times in my life. But what I'm saying, like now being my age where I'm at, it's nice to see younger people, doing impressive stuff like rhythm and blues. Would you say that's your main genre, rhythm and blues, or is it just kind of
blues, rhythm and blues? Yeah, both of those. I do a lot of that.
And you said your dad owned a record store. What record store was that?
It's called PC Music.
Really?
Yeah.
Where was it located?
Nashua, New Hampshire.
Oh, wow.
That's where I was born. But I was
that right?
Oh, so you're from, you were born in Nashua.
See, I wouldn't say I was from there because like I've been in Mississippi basically my whole life.
Gotcha.
Like I don't really remember being in New Hampshire, but
gotcha. But you were born there, but you're pretty much born. You're pretty much born there, but raised.
I was
here.
raised. Yeah, I was.
This
raised
is your
here.
home.
Yeah, but I still do like go up in the summer and like visit my grandma or something like that.
That's cool.
I would imagine summer's better than winter.
Oh.
Do you have any gigs coming up?
Yes. So I have this is my list right here.
There you go. Yeah, read it.
So Coast Big Band, they have a thing in Hattiesburg called Hub City. So that's like more horns and stuff. Yeah, like big band music. So that's Sanger Theater, Hattiesburg at 3 p.m. Hub City Swing Band, and that is January 29th.
Are you playing with them, or are you like headlining it?
No, I'm the guitar player in the band.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't even know that. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So you can play with the big band.
So you are Charlie Christian.
Yeah. He was the first one to do it.
That's right.
So yeah, that's where I first got the whole solo flight idea, was with Coast Big Band. Arthur Matthews runs it, and he was like, "Hey, can you learn solo flight? We want the band to play it, and you can do a lead over it." And I was like, "All right, that sounds awesome."
That's great.
So I got to do that at the Mary C.
Nice.
Which was last summer, at the stage area.
Right.
But so Sanger Theater Hattiesburg is January 29th. I'm doing a private thing in Oklahoma in February, but that's something different. And then we got February 19th is a Coast Big Band gig at the GCCA King's Dinner Gulf Coast Carnival Association.
Oh, nice.
February 25th is Margaritaville solo 7 to 10. March 11th is Chandelier Brewing Company 3 to 6, and April 2nd. No, we're looking way out here.
That's okay. Keep them coming.
Is Ground Zero 4 to 7 o'clock, and that is for the Pine Top and John Lee Hooker tribute.
Nice.
And then my last thing that I have booked right now is April 18th, and that is going to be the Covey Awards at the Hard Rock.
Do you have a website, or do you have? I'm sure you have social media. I mean,
yeah,
Facebook and
I'll plug
Instagram.
that.
Yeah. Well, but, is it under Six String Andrew? Or okay. All
so
right.
my Instagram is 6 SIX spelled out. So 6_string_Andrew. That is my Instagram name. You can look up 6 String Andrew on Facebook. Also spelled out 6, and that's where I post all my updates and videos. And YouTube, that's a big one. For old clips and stuff of me playing basically anywhere is 6 String Andrew on YouTube, and there's a whole bunch of clips from all the time I was 7.
Oh, great.
To now. There's even a video of me playing with Cheap Trick on there when I was 8.
Oh, wow, nice. Good for you.
3 times.
Bro.
Yeah.
This is good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Now, playing with Buddy Guy, that was a highlight.
I knew that you played with Buddy Guy before. Now, where was that at?
That was on a Rock Legends cruise ship, and that was 2 or 3 years ago. And this is a funny story. I'll make it quick though.
No, take your time.
Take your time. Yeah, you're good.
No hurry.
Yeah. So it was with Buddy Guy, and I met him on the cruise ship, and I was like, "Hey, I'm a really big fan of your music. I love the blues. I'd love to play with you someday." And he was like, "Okay." So he's like, "Meet me then before the show."
I mean, just like that.
Just like that. He didn't even know me. He was just like, "Just meet me behind the show, and we can talk about it before it starts." I was like, "Okay." So then I met up with him before the show started backstage, and he was like, "Well, what do you want to play?" I was like, "Well, my favorite song by you is called Miss Ida B. I know all the words to it, and I know how to play it on guitar." And he's like, "Oh, I don't remember the words to it." and he's like, "Can you sing it?" And I was like, "Sure." So then we get on stage, and then the band's about to start, and he goes, "What key is it in?" And I was like, "It's in G, Buddy Guy."
Oh, that's awesome. That's absolutely awesome.
And then he said some explicit words into the microphone, per usual.
Because he's an adult.
He's like, "I don't effing know the words to this song, so I'm gonna let him sing it." So I got to sing the song, and then me and him traded solos. It was really awesome.
My gosh.
That's on YouTube as well. In Kentucky, I got to play with B.B. King's daughter, Claudette King, and the B.B. King Blues Band that was with him before he died.
Right.
And
is she fronting the band now, or
yeah?
That's what's
so
happening?
after B.B. died, Claudette stepped up as the singer.
Wow.
Wow, I didn't know that. It's amazing.
But I got the honor to perform a few songs with them in Kentucky on Wood Songs Radio, which
oh yeah, I'm familiar with that.
Wood Songs, yeah.
Is that a public radio show?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's on TV.
Oh, okay.
There's definitely some clips of it on YouTube on my channel.
Oh, good.
It was cool. They always have like a young artist, and then they have like the main band, and usually they play separately. But I was telling them, I was like, I really like blues. I just really got along with them. And they're like, all right, well, why don't you play with us at the end? And at first, the host was kind of like, oh, we don't really do that. We don't do jams on here or anything. Like you're supposed to rehearse it. But they're like, no, he can do it. So at the end, they invited me up, and then I didn't really practice the songs with them, but it's blues. So
right.
You
it's a 1-4-5.
You just jump in.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And everyone knows Thrill's gone. So
is that what that was the
yeah.
I guess encore it would be, I guess, so to speak.
It was that, and it was playing with my friends.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice.
So I'll ask every guest this. And since you're younger, usually it's an older musician, we're going to ask you, if there's musicians out there that are wanting to get into music, or some kids out there, or maybe even some older musicians that are like, feeling down and want to get back into it, like, what are your words of encouragement? What would you tell somebody like that from your shoes? Like some advice or some words of encouragement?
Like to get into music?
Get into music, or just talk about, I guess so. Yeah, get into music, or like
some advice for them to just maybe start playing, or how they would go about it, what they need to do to prepare for talking to somebody. I know that well, you were at a young age. I know your mom and dad helped you, but for a lot of us, we weren't that young, and it's kind of unnerving when you first talk to somebody about playing if you've never done it before.
Yeah,
and nerves might come into it when you sit there and audition. Were you nervous? Speaking of which, we'll get back to that. But
no, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah.
When you auditioned for Belmont, did your nerves
yes.
come up? I mean, I can't imagine how they couldn't become a factor, but you managed to get through it, and I'm sure they understood that too. There's a certain amount of nerves that happen. I mean, when people are sitting around going, okay, kid, show me what you got.
Yeah. It was, I don't know. It's weird because like with live performances, I am not nervous because like, I don't know. I got to play with Cheap Trick when I was 8, and that was in front of like 2,000 or 3,000 people in New York, and I was like 8 years old. So like, I'm pretty used to playing in front of people, but just like playing in front of 2 people that are not just like listening, but they're judging you. They're like, okay, like, is he good?
Critiquing you.
Oh,
critiquing, exactly. So it's
yeah,
that made me nervous because it's not just like, oh, you're playing a song people know and people are getting into it. They're like really examining your technique, your phrasing, and then they had me improvise too. So it's like all that type of stuff. So it was a really nervous thing for me, but the way that I look at it, and some advice that you could give to somebody to tie it back into that, is there's really nothing to lose. It's, if you don't try something, not to quote a poster in a school, you know what I mean? Like those corny things are like, oh, you miss all the shots you don't take. But I guess it's cliche, but it's kind of true.
Well, that's why it's a cliche.
Yeah.
For the most part, it is true. I mean, all those, they're kind of sappy and corny, but yeah. Did you have any idea, because now I'm kind of on this, any idea of what they might ask you, or did they give you any kind of, okay, this is what we normally do and blah, 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 or did they just kind of spring it on you and like show us what you got?
Well, I made sure to like think of some questions in my head, but there's on their website, they don't have anything prepared. So I just had to like think like, what would they ask me?
Yeah.
So they just asked me, the number one thing that I've learned from talking to other people that have gone to college is, when they ask you to ask a question, don't not. Like, you need to ask a question to show you're interested, which I think that probably helped me too.
Mm-hmm.
So when they said, do you have any questions for us? I didn't like go blank.
Right.
I tried to prepare up some stuff to show that I'm interested.
Right. What city is Belmont in? I know it's Nashville, but is it like...
It's like in Nashville.
It is in actual Nashville, because we had...
like right in the middle of it.
Buddy Leach was our guest a couple weeks ago, and Buddy, who I've known, and now he knows, he went to school up there. He went to Franklin, somewhere in Franklin. I forget what school it is, but he did but his was more of a. That's why I asked you earlier. His was more of an education. He to teach, but then he found out he didn't really want to teach and want to be on the road, and so. So that's why I was asking.
And now he plays sax for George Thorogood.
Yeah.
And Hank Berman.
That's right. More importantly,
Hank Berman. More importantly, me. So, okay. All right. We were talking about recording. Do you have anything in mind are you going to plan on coming out with a stream or a CD? I don't know what do you call them now? Projects?
I would say stream for his age. He would be Spotify, Apple Music.
I do have some singles. Like I said, it's not really like what I play with my band, just because I don't have the resources right now. But yeah, you can find like my like stuff I made in my room on there. But
anything in the future? I mean, are you thinking about, okay, I'd like to put a 6-string Andrew CD,
EP
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I definitely want to do that. And as of now, though, I'm probably gonna like upload some videos of my songs, just me playing them on YouTube, so people can hear them.
Right.
And that's just for now. But in the future, definitely I want to be a recording artist.
Okay. Do you like doing solo, like what you're talking about? That'd be on acoustic?
Yeah, I'll probably just like make some videos of me and upload them. Like you can find videos of my songs on YouTube, but it's usually like a live performance or something.
Oh, cool. That's good too. What do you think of the music scene on the coast right now, and any ideas as to where you see it going? I know that's a very broad question, but any comments? Maybe I should ask that. Any comments on the state of music on the coast and maybe the future?
I think it's only going up, especially from like, because I've been like on the scene for, let me think now, like paid gigs. Well, I've been doing them like Fishbone Alley, for example. I was like when I was like 12, like, so I've been on.
That's when I first saw you, I think.
Yeah, so I've been on the like getting paid for stuff like maybe 5 or maybe even 7 years now. But I've really only seen improvements, especially with like the opening of Ground Zero. Like that was definitely a big thing, because now we have like acts coming in there, like good bands and stuff, and it gives everybody more opportunities to listen to live music. So I think we're going in the right direction.
Good. Yeah, I think I agree with you on Ground Zero. I think one of the things that I like about it is what you touched on, is that live music and music that ordinarily wouldn't be down here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's music that, I mean, because you think about it, okay, some of the Eric Gale's coming, or did he?
Yeah,
already
that was a big act. Yeah.
But I'm thinking like, okay, if Ground Zero wasn't here, where could they possibly play on the coast? And there isn't any. I can't. No. So kudos to Ground Zero, and boy, I hopefully in the future we'll have more. Maybe not necessarily for the general public. Not just blues or blues-based music, but maybe some other stuff. Because I think I agree with you on that. And I
think Ground Zero was a big, I would say, turning point, because we've had the casinos, and you've had the places where you can play beach music, Margaritaville music, that kind of stuff. Jimmy Buffett, but the rhythm and blues, like bringing that here. I think Ground Zero really helped.
I think so too. After the hurricane, of course, everything is before or after the hurricane. Talking about Katrina.
Yeah. Okay. What year were you born?
2005, but after Katrina.
Yeah,
bro. That's
what
crazy.
A coincidence. My shoes are that old. No, there was a pretty good music scene. Scene being the bar scene, or a lot of places on the water that got taken out by Katrina that had music. I had a regular gig at Joe Lonson had a club where the Hard Rock parking lot is now. It's Fisherman's Harbor. And it was a great Sunday place. One of those where you bring your boats up and stuff like that. My point is that those places went away. Marina Point, on the Point, Gorin Flows. So there's been that void of places to play. And I think agreeing with what you said, Andrew, that it's it's coming around, coming back, and proving that there's a stability to it, and people will support it.
Oh yeah, and I mean,
and the food's good.
Yeah, that's true. And obviously sound, it's like premier,
Yeah, it is.
And then even for acoustic stuff, I've been going to the like Lady May Jams, which is right here in Ocean Springs with Amber Dawn. And I feel like that's another environment where it's really about the musicians.
Yeah.
And it's cool. Just like I've been all around the country playing, and the coast has some really talented people. Like, I've been to open jams on other states, and there's some people that go up there, and it's like, man, you can get better than that in South Mississippi. Like, honestly,
right.
like, even I went to an open jam in Nashville, and some of the people that went up there, I'm like, I've seen way better in Ocean Springs.
Yeah.
You know, but there's a real talented group of people down here, and I really do like the environment, like, cause I don't know, but for a while I feel like it was kind of like background music. Like, you might be a really good singer or a really good guitar player, but they're eating. They're not paying attention to you.
That's right. That's
but
right.
I feel like the direction we're going in now is more of a like listening environment. Like, especially with like the Lady May restaurant, it's like people actually listen to what you're saying and what you're playing. And Ground Zero, obviously, like the main focus is the music.
Yes.
So that's good.
Yeah, it's very good. But one of the things I was going to say, one of the things I was going to say about that, and we had touched on this on another show, was what you're talking about. They're not really listening; they're eating or whatever. But a friend of mine many, many years ago told me this, and then maybe you might think about this, because there's going to be those environments where you play where it's not everybody's going to be just.
I've done that plenty of times. Played at bars, you know.
I mean, you can almost be.
They're like 10 drinks in. They don't even know what you're saying.
That's right. An amenity. We got this or that, especially casinos. But he told me, and it's true. He said, always look at their feet. A lot of times they'll be in a conversation. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to Jesse or your dad, Mike, but they're keeping tempo.
Mm-hmm. Actually, so that's interesting.
It is. So they're not just into you, but they hear you. And that leads to the other thing of continuity. You know, we've all had that thing where you forget the lyrics, or you like, oh, I'm coming up to the bridge. Damn, what is it? What is it? And the lesson I learned with that for on the job training was, don't stop. Mm-hmm. Make up something. Just go through, because the moment you stop, what he messed up or whatever, that continuity with the foot tapping, you're in.
Yeah, it kind of killed the vibe.
Yeah,
I guess that's the thing with me being a guitar player first, is I can just keep playing. Yeah. Like, I'll just make up something.
Yeah, right. Whatever. And if you hit a bad note, you say, well, I'm playing jazz.
Yeah.
Boom.
I'm out there. I'm way out there. Ornette Coleman out there. You were going to say something?
No, I forgot. But no, I like the foot top thing that you were talking about, because I actually did that recently, and I was noticing it was their hand. They were sitting there waiting for the food, and they were talking to they were talking to their spouse, but one of them went to go like use the restroom, and I was watching their hand. They weren't looking at me, and I was like,
"They're hearing it."
That. Who was our guest? Why can't I think who was our guest that we were talking to about that? We don't have to sing.
Thomas Edwards.
That's right.
Thomas, yes.
Yeah, that's so fun.
Do you know Thomas Edwards by chance?
Alexa, who is Thomas Edwards?
Sorry, that Alexa is unplugged. I cannot figure out what's going on with that plug. I have to get a new Alexa, be quiet.
I probably ran into him though.
Thomas, he's a dear friend and now a friend of the show. But he's I've known him since we were kids, and he's a very, very talented guitar player. And he's like a Forrest Gump. I don't know if this will make it on the show or not, but he looks at the world from a different perspective, and it's great. It's just great. There's a little bit of wide-eyed innocence, and then there's also the seasoned guy. But anyway, Thomas, you'll catch him playing. He plays with a bunch of different people on the coast. You'll like him.
And he owns a shrimp company.
No, his friend Bubba does.
Oh, you got a boiled shrimp, grilled
shrimp casserole,
lemon shrimp.
That's my favorite part.
It's great. Yeah, I still ball shrimp.
I have a personal question, because I always struggled with this when I was your age. Do you feel? And I know the answer because I'm reading it, and I know if I have a certain belief. But do you feel like you're a professional musician?
I would say so, in like the literal sense, because I get paid to do. I've had to pay like a bunch of taxes in it, you know.
Good. I just want to make sure.
I've been paying taxes since I was like 12, which is weird.
That is weird.
But
so if somebody says, "What do you do for a living?" You were going to say
musician. Yeah.
I always ask for cash.
I mean, you know, someone asked me, someone asked me, what's your career? What's your job? No, I'm a guitar player.
That's right. Professional musician. Because I struggle with that when somebody would ask me what I would do, and I'm like, I gig, I play some music here and there, but and I always couldn't. But my dad always told me, if somebody pays you for something, that makes you a professional.
Technically, yeah.
So
you can't refute that.
So impressed, very impressed on this side.
So you've known this since you were 5. That's what you like to do.
Yeah.
And watch as you get older, how many things of opportunities, maybe not even just in music, but other things pop up. But it always will revert back to music because you've been doing it for so long.
That's very true. I feel like I've lived a long life already.
Yeah, but you're going to start meeting people, and it's going to start coming around, and you're going to be like, wow, I got this opportunity to do whatever this is because of that gig or that person who saw me at that gig. Because I still, to this day, will get an opportunity for videography or my other business, but I revert back to that connection, and it's always leads to music. So
it really does.
It was derived from the music. Yeah,
I know. There's even from when me and my dad went up the first time when I was 5. I still keep in touch with some of those people from like that long ago. Like Big A, he's playing in Ground Zero this weekend, but he's someone this has been kind of like a mentor to me for almost 12 years.
Yeah,
and that was just from one time.
That's cool.
But it's the amount of connections you make through it and places. It's a lot.
Well, you've had an opportunity that a lot of folks haven't. I mean, from like Cheap Trick, and you're talking about B.B. King's band and all the other Buddy Guy. That's a great story. The Buddy Guy story, cursing and all.
Yeah. Oh, he's a funny guy.
That's great. That's awesome.
So I think this is a good time to actually bring it out and get the guitar out, and we'll set you up in the recording studio, and let's let Andrew show off some of his musical talent. What do you say, Hank?
Sounds good to me.
Andrew, you good with that?
No.
Spoken like a musician.
You have no choice.
He's testy already.
Never wanna do you wrong, only wanna do you right. I never wanna see you bad, I just want you to be alright. I'll keep it simple for you, baby. I just wanna give you what you want, what you want. Now that I've got you, well, I wanna keep you. And now that I've got you, I don't wanna mistreat you. I'll keep it simple for you, baby. I just wanna give you what you want, what you want. Tell me what's on your mind. Tell me at any time. Don't worry about anything. Everything will be fine. I'll keep it simple for you, baby. I just wanna give you what you want. What you want. What you want. This has been the High Note Podcast. Make sure to tune in every week so we can get some new content coming from them straight from the Mary C.